to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Welcome to Fly Nubian Money today, y'all. Hey, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. How y'all doing today? So today we are discussing something that's been going viral. Mothers teaching their daughters to expect luxury gifts and expensive dates from men, y'all. A recent video exposed this controversial trend, and we're diving deeper into question, are we empowering these young women or setting them up for unrealistic expectation in their relationships? Let's get into it. But first, before we have this discussion, we have the most amazing queens on the planet. First, I want to start off with the financial expert, Miss Aisha Verze. Give it up. What's up, Miss Aisha? They moved you out the way. And then Miss Nomalanga. Nomalanga Moses, the motherhood, marriage, motherhood, and money expert. I got it. Two of my queens from the motherland. What's up, ladies? And then we have Shalaye, the CEO of Vital Source Realty. She is a broker in the Boston area. What's happening, Miss Shalaye? And last but certainly not least, my good girlfriend right here, the one, the only, the bring your brand brilliance lady herself. What's up, Dr. LaNee?
What's good? Good morning. Afternoon.
Good morning. So before we get into the video and this viral moment, give me one thing that you teach your daughter, if you and for those of you who don't have daughters, but give me one value. And I know it don't got nothing to do with getting luxury gifts, but tell me one value that you teach your daughter, Aisha. Do you have daughters or sons, or you have both, or what?
I have a daughter.
Okay. What is one value that you teach your daughter?
Self-respect.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound like gifts. Okay. Got it. What about you, Nomalanga?
I think actually it's the same. It's self-respect and very, very strong family values.
Okay, strong family values. All right. What about you, Dr. LaNee? What's one thing? I know you don't have a daughter, but what's one thing you teach your child?
So in general, I had something ready to go to. So one thing I teach my child is to value yourself. And so I guess that wouldn't matter if I had a daughter or a son, like value yourself above all. This world will try to come and steal your joy, your peace, your identity, all the things. So just instilling value of self.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. What about you, Shalaye? What is one thing you teach your daughter? I know you have two daughters, right?
I have two daughters, yes, and definitely self-respect, self-worth, but also you can do hard things and keep trying and never give up.
Okay. So there seems to be a general consensus, general thing going on here about self-respect, self-worth, believing in yourself. So do you think that a woman encouraging her daughter to seek luxury gifts and $500 dates is promoting the self-respect? Wow.
Oh, wait, executive producer said, what about you, Constance? What do you teach your daughter?
I teach her she is all the things, that she is everything that she wants to be, that she is the absolute shit and can't nobody take it away from her. That's what I teach her. But so what do you think? Do you think, and it's funny, let me tell you, because my daughter did say the other day, I think it was just yesterday, she was like, Mom, I'm doing it wrong. She said, all these people got these men buying stuff for them. They getting their rent paid. And I don't got a man doing that for me. She's like, I got that from you because you pay for everything. Now I don't get nobody paying for me. I said, baby girl, you don't need nobody to pay for everything. Don't even worry about it. So I think that was funny. This is actually kind of timely. But does that, for all of you or any of you, can you see a form of self-respect in asking your daughter or telling your daughter to require this from men?
I think it's super dangerous. I think it's a very dangerous standard to set, that she should expect expensive and luxury gifts, because in exchange for what? Whenever someone is doing that type of thing, that's a transaction. Okay. And if you're teaching your daughter that she needs to expect these things, then you also need to be teaching her that it's a transaction, and that other party is going to expect a withdrawal at some point.
Oh, what you giving for what you getting? What is you giving for what you getting? All right, ladies. So let's take a look at this video that inspired this topic today. Women exposing
mothers with teenage daughters that are still in high school. Stop brainwashing your daughter to believe that these young boys they're dating, who are also still in high school and also still being taken care of by their parents, are responsible to make sure that your daughter experiences things that you've never exposed her to as her parent. Yeah, you've never paid $400 and $500 for her plate. You've never taken her shopping at any luxury department stores. So how is this a requirement for anybody? That's your duty as a parent to expose your child to what you want them to be exposed to. Are we using our brains anymore? In high school, the only requirement you should have as a young woman in dating should be, if that young man respects himself and respects you, fill him out and see what his goals and visions are for his life. See if he comes from a good family, and most definitely see if he got a good mother. Do you know how golden it is as a young woman to date a man that has a good mother? That's golden. So mothers, there's a lot of things we can tell our daughters to have in place as a requirement when dating in high school, but food and materials shouldn't be it. That's your job. So stop trying to push it off on other people.
That last part. Teaching her to be financially independent is extremely important. So let me ask you, ladies, this. What do you think? What's the difference between like teaching standards, basic standards, and teaching a young lady to be entitled? I'll ask you, Dr. LaNee.
I'm waiting to hear Noma's response, so I don't want to step on her toes. So this is what I would want to say is, this is such a good conversation. I think that there is a balance, right? I think that sometimes I do believe that we raise our daughters and nurture our sons, right? And so I think that there is a medium space of teaching financial independence and teaching being able to take care of yourself, but also understanding that there's a covenant that a man should give you. I think that we have raised our daughters to be too strong, to be too financially independent, to be too much of a provider, that they don't now know how to let a man come in and provide covenant. But so I think that there's a balance that we have to start teaching our daughters, so that they're not so strong that they're like, I can do it by myself. I got it. I don't need you. But also, if you don't have a man, you should be able to take care of yourself.
Okay. So I'm glad that you said that. And I'm glad that you brought up Noma, because Noma said there are many options if my man don't got money, and I am not one of them. And so is that what you also teach your daughter to do? I'm interested in seeing what your opinion on that, the entitlement versus, expectation.
So can we first establish the fact that a lot of us come from broken homes, and by us, I mean Black people, okay? So you should, as a young woman, you should never be entirely financially independent. You're supposed to go from being dependent on your father financially to then having a husband whose priority it is to be a provider. Now, the father will set the standard in terms of what a young woman should expect. And a good father obviously isn't going to just throw everything at her. He's going to set boundaries. He's going to plan for the future. He's going to do a lot of things, but still instill in her that she can have the expectation that she doesn't have to go all out financially in order to have a decent life. So it, like Dr. LaNee said, it is a balance, but I just don't see how you can tell your daughter to expect a $500 dinner when your father's probably not even buying it for your mother.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk.
Damn, that was
Yeah, that was a bar. It was a bar because that's the thing that is the one thing that's one of the things that I teach my daughter is that, that's broke chick talk. When you can't take me to the cheesecake, that's broke girl talk. Like, if you can take yourself, you're not expecting a man to take you. Why are you expecting a man to do more for you than you can do for yourself? And so having that expectation, in my opinion, that's broke bitch speak. So, but we'll talk more about it when we come back from the break. Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com. Know and grow. All right. So, with all of these all these damn podcasts, and we have the battle of the sexes, and we have the red pill, blue pill. We just have all of these conversations that really separate us. Do you think that this is life imitating art, or is it art imitating life, Aisha? Because you do have this kind of conversation, but it hasn't derived because people have these loud ass podcast mics that they need to be taken away from, or do people actually really act like this?
That's really a great question, because I was thinking about that as well. That do people really act like this, or is it because of the fact that we have social media now and the art now? They think they can just put anything out there and just get that attention that they're seeking, because it didn't even make any sense. That how can a mother expect another young person that is not working to provide such high-end material for her child? So are you thinking that child should go and take from this parent and give it to your child? How does that work? So it didn't make any sense to me. Just listening to that, and I was thinking to myself, when I was raised, the parents just raised us. They raised us to be good people, to seek what is good at all times.
They didn't raise you to go out and get a man that give you $500 luxury gifts.
No. First you have to also be a good person to get that kind of a person to give anything like that, right? You have to also be the example. So it was just hard for me, because I have a son, I have a daughter too. So, and that kind of threw me off. I said, wow, it has to be social media, because I don't think any mother that has any common sense literally would tell her child that is okay. Because like Shalaye was saying, that's dangerous. It means a transaction. It means that guy can do anything to your daughter and she cannot say anything. And yeah. I definitely don't want that for my child. No, it doesn't even make any sense. So I think you're right. Is it the art or what's going on? So I think it's social media, the one that, notoriety, or she said this, now she's on, everybody's talking about her. It has to be that, because it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Shalaye, what you think? Do you think people are really out here? I do believe there may be a certain small percentage of people, but maybe not that big. What do you think?
I think it's definitely a small percentage of people. Let me tell you something. If my daughter was 16, 17, 18, 19, and she came home with luxury $500 gifts, we getting in the car, we going to his house. Why did he give you this?
Right.
Okay. Why did he give you this and give it back?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't owe him anything. First of all, let me calm down. It's just like, I'm like, really? And I didn't realize we're talking about young people. We're not even talking about a man, a fully developed man and a fully developed woman. We're talking about kids in high school. Like, what? But the thing is, it's like, again, What are we teaching our kids? This is like the equivalent to me to someone who goes out and they have to wear labels all the time. And it's got to be this and Versace and it's got to show and the logos have to show. This is a self-worth issue. This is a self-worth issue because nowhere in the conversation am I hearing that this woman is like, this man needs to respect you. He needs to adore you. He needs to be devoted to you. He needs to be committed to you. And he's not even a man. We're talking about a boy. But even on the aspect of talking about another man, even me, if I'm dating a man and he starts trying to give me a whole bunch of gifts, bye. What are you giving me gifts for? For what? It's different if you have a man who's coming with all of the other things that sustain a relationship and then he wants to give to you. Absolutely. Then I can receive that. But I can't just receive gifts for no reason because what is your angle? What is it that you want? Do you want me or do you want to siphon from me? Nah, not doing it.
It's a type of grooming.
Yeah.
It's a type of grooming on both parties. As a young lady, right, you're being groomed that love comes in the form of money and what you can do for me. As a young man, you're being groomed that in order for me to show my love, I have to buy it. So it's grooming on both sides.
It don't even have to be love. I can just get what I want by giving.
Or even that. Yeah. If I give you this, you should give me that. So it's grooming on both sides. And I think that that's the destructive part, especially when we're talking about Black love and the dynamics of how we raise our children and what comes next for family. It's a dangerous slope, especially we're already having these issues in our community. And when you start talking about generational curses and what we pass down, this is the type of mess we're passing down to our children.
And I do believe it's social media because we weren't having these nonsensical. It's social media. Somebody gets on social media and is flaunting this stupid crap. And then people who are not, let me parse my words. People who are not in tune and not aware and not self-aware and don't have self-worth will jump on that and be like, oh, well, that's the way somebody shows love because they haven't done the inner work or they're not mature enough to even know what that is. It's crazy.
But okay,
I don't think it's only about maturity or self-worth or self-esteem. It could actually just come from not having any examples. So it's like it just becomes a fantasy. You know, you've never seen your mom and dad relate with each other. Nor your grandparents, nor your aunts, nobody. So it's like you just create this fantasy of what it's supposed to be.
That's a good perspective.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a fantasy. But even with that, so while you're talking, Noma, what about a cultural thing? Because what if white people are doing it? Is it looked down at if white women are telling their white daughters to make sure that they get that $500 bag? Would they be ostracized like a Black woman who does that?
I don't think they do it the same way.
I don't think they even do that because there's a kind of like a lack mentality that comes from. It's a trauma response. And collectively, as much as I hate to say it, white people don't have the same experience in terms of collective trauma as much as Black people do.
Yeah.
So they just don't have that thing of, don't you, there's that stereotype of the deadbeat Black daddy, so don't let no deadbeats in here. He better buy you this, he better do that. And again, it's all fantasy because a normal father isn't expected to do that for his daughter. A normal husband is not expected to do that. Or even a boyfriend is not expected to do that for their girlfriend. Nobody's expected to do that. So it's all fantasy.
It's broke bitch talk. That's it.
I think that the conversations are different. It's different teaching your daughter who is coming of age and in that stage where she's dating and looking at relationships to say, hey, you want to be looking at a man who can provide when you have children. That's different than the conversation we're having about, oh, let him give you some $500 and some bags and take you out to whatever, make sure it's not Red Lobster. Those are totally different conversations.
I just picture the mom that's telling her this. Y'all probably don't remember, it's probably before y'all's time, but y'all remember the cartoon Bebe Kids? Remember the ex, she had the little biker shorts on, her stomach was hanging over, she had the little pouch on, and she was just hella ghetto. That's why I imagine telling her kids some silly ass shit like that. Girl, get your bag, and she ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but she telling her daughter to get that $500 bag and expect all these luxury gifts. Anyway, let's go to the next video so we can have some more context to the conversation.
him about the first restaurant he gonna take you to. What's the last restaurant your daddy took you to? Because you shouldn't be coming to him to be your daddy. That's not his role. It's a first date. Our second question is, have you ever been anywhere? Where do you take yourself? Let me see your checkbook registry. Let me log into your bank account and see what you feed yourself. A lady is gonna be there for the purpose of what it's for. She's not looking for food because she's hungry that she can't afford so she can take it to go and get a doggy bag. I'm going to wrap this up to go. Why? You ain't going to have food tomorrow? It don't need to be a steakhouse. We don't even know if you work a steak.
So, ma'am, you don't have to check her checkbook registry.
Not the checkbook registry. I ain't seen the checkbook registry in years.
Yo, hungry? She just took me out.
I love her. I love her.
That sounds like
her energy.
one of my sons would let me do that. One of them, not all of them, but then one of them would come to me and be like, "Mom," and he would let me rant just like that, and he was standing behind me doing that shit too. So, would you allow, or so let's I already know the answer, so I don't even know. I don't even want to ask you that question if you would allow your son to do some dumb shit like that. However, what is the lessons that you are instilling in your boys about what it means to date and court young women? And I'll start with you, Noma.
You see, it's just a generic thing about respect. You know, respect yourself, self-respect, and understand that when you step out of this house or anywhere really, you're representing your family. So it's just about the posture that you have about treating yourself with respect, treating others with respect. It's a general thing, whether you're a girl or you're a boy. And certainly we do have to have conversations with our boys about not being taken advantage of. And recently I also have to have conversations with our boys about not taking advantage of girls, because there is a new breed of losers who will, try to take advantage of a woman financially. So that conversation is also on the table.
Okay. So I want to ask all of you guys that about, some of the values that you are instilling in your boys. And because I want people to know, what is proper, what is appropriate, what should we be instilling in our sons? How do we raise good men? Because people may not know. One thing I do know is that some people don't know just basic shit. And you would be surprised about the mentality of some people who just don't know. And you just thinking they stupid, but sometimes they just don't know. So I want to ask you guys all that question when we come back from the break.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
So you know what? I thank you guys for answering, because I do want you guys to answer that same question. Some of you said, Cloteria said, respect is key. Learn how to woo yourself, treat yourself so that you will know how others should treat you. Jennifer said, stop teaching young boys that their mother is the only woman that they should respect. That's crazy. Don't respect nobody but me. Like, what? What are you raising? CY said, respect oneself as well. Take time to get to know young ladies. Talk to them, find out about their family. I love that. And Anonymous, you always bring the dumb shit, but you said women can't teach men how to deal with women. Only men can teach men how to deal with women. Dumb shit. But I love what Sophia said. She said, my mom was a kept woman and my dad took care of her till the day he died. And afterwards, and I'm 63, he's still taking care of me and my sister. So I have a high standard for a man to approach me. Clock that. I love it. That's what a man is. So going to the rest of you, I know that you don't have, I know you don't have any sons, Shalaye, but what is a value I'll say that you should expect, that your girl should expect from a man?
That women are not commodities to be bought and sold. I think there's, and this is a thing that has been prevalent throughout history, right? Since the patriarchy or whatever, right? That men, there's a certain percentage of men who believe that they can buy and sell women. I mean, it's the whole pimp mentality. And women are not commodities. So when you engage in that commoditization, again, like you're teaching them that there's no need for connection. They don't have to have a connection with you. They don't have to respect you. They don't have to love you. They don't have to commit to you. They can just give you things, and you're stupid enough to just take that, and that's all that you're worth. So I think that definitely I teach my daughters, like, you are not a commodity. You are a unique being, and you deserve respect and true love and all of that.
I love that.
Not commodities.
You are not a commodity, sis. I love that. All right. What about you, Aisha?
Yeah, for me, I believe that for my son especially, his examples come from my husband. They say it is the way my husband treats me that he's watching, because kids, they learn by also watching. They see what's happening, and that's how they now internalize that and go out and do the same. So he's definitely watching my husband as the leader of the family, spiritually and emotionally, and just take care of our family and the provider. And he sees my husband do that day in, day out. And the way my husband loves me, respects me, and treats me, he sees that every day. And then as his mother, I tell him, I say, you're a young man, and my advice to you is, every woman you meet is your sister. Literally, you have to respect her like your sister. Treat her like your sister, because she's not somebody you play like your toy, or you do your experiment on. I say she is not. She is made by God in God's image, and it's your duty to respect her like your sister, period. And then when you find somebody that you want to be with long term, now that's a different story. But until that time, you treat them with respect. You really step up and make sure you take care like you do for your sister. And that's how I'm always raising my son and talking to him and just reminding him of who he is. And he sees it. My husband does that every day, takes care of me and our daughter. He sees the way he steps in every time. So that's how I'm raising him to be a man of virtue, and a man that also respects himself and carries the family name well.
How old are your kids?
My son is 18. He just turned 18. And she is 13.
Okay. You still have young ones. Okay. So Dr. LaNee, what do you teach your son? And give us like examples.
I'm sorry, I was clearing my throat. What was the question?
I said, what are you teaching your son about how to treat women? And just give us some examples of that.
So I'm going to be real honest. I have one child, a son, and I overprotected and overindulged on him when he was younger out of guilt. We moved from California to Arizona, so his dad wasn't there. And so I did way more than I could have, way more than I should have, let's say that. And so it wasn't until he was probably about 16, 17, 18, where I started to be like, okay, you need to get out and do the gas. You need to do this. You need to do that. So today's his birthday, he just turned 25 today. And so he is doing those things, but he's still learning some of them, but he's questioning them, right? Like now when I walk up to the door, I'll stop and he was like, I'm supposed to get in the gap. So he gets the door. And like when we stopped to get gas, he was like, you're not supposed to get out to get the gas. I'm supposed to get it. And I'm like, good. But do you do that when you're with your homegirls? Like, it's not just for your mom. I was like, when you're with your homegirls, I know y'all just friends. When you guys pull up to get gas, do you let her get out to get the gas, or do you get the gas? He was like, well, if she gets out, she gets out. I was like, no, you still got to get out and get the gas. If you are with any young lady or any young woman, not just me, it's the man's responsibility to get the gas. He's like, but she's just my friend. It doesn't matter. Like, sometimes you can show her how to be treated. So I'm kind of teaching them stuff like that, almost from behind, if that makes sense. Because as a mom, I was doing most of the things. And so now we have these little small conflicts on mom, like the trash. I'm like, do you see the trash overflowing? Well, yeah, but I just, was coming and going. I don't care. He's like, so you just gonna leave the trash here for me? Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't even know when he's coming or going. He's 25, so sometimes he'll be here, sometimes he won't. But I'll be like, hey, when you come back through here, can you come get this trash? And he'll be like, okay, cool. So we're still building on some of that stuff as he's getting older, because I overdid a lot of those things.
Yeah.
I watched a video not long ago of this mom that's saying how to raise proper young men, and she has the boys bringing out the groceries and doing all these things at a young age, and the other kids at the top playing the games and doing it. That was me doing all the things. But now, baby,
I'll tell you, I have 3 sons, and fortunately, when they were younger, they had a dad that was there and that was present. That was primarily the caregiver for them while I was working, and so when they were younger, I definitely taught them to make sure they open the door for me and their sister, and they would fight. I got pictures of them fighting. No, open the door for mommy, like that. And so still we have conversation. We continue to dialogue, and Anonymous, you're somewhat right. Men should be the ones that are teaching their sons. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't have a man in their household to teach their sons. And I hate that for my sons. I really, really do. It's just unfortunate, but that's just how the cards was laid for me. So I have conversations with them, and all of them are very different. This morning I've been on my oldest son's helmet like the whole week, because he just does dumb shit, because he just doesn't pay attention, because his mind is everywhere, because he's always in his phone, because he's just not right. So I tell him to take out the garbage last night. My daughter took 2 big bags, but she just put them in the garage. Like, as soon as you step out the door, the the bags are right there. So you either going to have to trip over them, step over them to go out of the garage. I tell them to take out the trash. So I have a big yard. I'm going to walk this morning. I go look in the trash, see if the trash man came. There was 1 small bag in there. So this man walked over these 2 bags that were in the garage to take the dumb shit like that. And then he accuses me of always fussing at him. You don't fuss at, because they don't do dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? You're a man. You just turned 21. I need you to pay attention. You're going to be somebody's daddy one day. You're going to be somebody's husband one day, And on the other hand, he is a gentleman. He is that guy that he's not going to, if any of my boys sat up in the car while a woman got out to pump gas, they already know that my voice should be nagging in their brains. So they'll do that type of thing. They're very good. One thing that he would, when his first year in college, he was letting girls take advantage of him because I taught him to be, he says a simp, but I taught him to be a gentleman, which a lot of these girls aren't used to men being gentlemen. So then they take advantage of him. So it's not, you don't be a gentleman. He's like, Mom, everybody's not like you. They don't deserve it. You're just being a gentleman to the wrong ones. Just throw them hoes away. Don't even be a gentleman to them. Don't deal with them. But it's.
Can I just say something, Constance? Mm-hmm. Can we please remove this idea that high expectation is only talking about finances? Because you can set high expectations without it being about money. It can be about treatment and about the respect that we're all talking about.
Absolutely.
And the care and the consideration, the kindness, all of these things, which actually all come before the money.
And that's
so
the thing
I just don't like that the conversation has been hijacked by talking about money and then saying, well, if you don't expect a lot financially, then it means you're low expectations. But no, you can set very high expectations without money ever having been in the conversation.
But I think, to your point, that's what we're saying, because the topic is about exposing these women who are talking about these luxury gifts, but we're talking about what is the values that we're actually teaching our kids, our sons and our daughters, that have absolutely nothing to do with money, has everything to do with character. It has everything to do with value, and value does not equate to money, to your point. So you're absolutely right. And these are the things that I want to encourage our audience to be doing the same thing. And obviously we have a pretty astute audience that don't believe, ain't buying into the hype. And is this a really good thing? Or is this just one person that went viral and now that's the standard? And so that's what we got to make sure that we're dissecting out, because I don't believe we, for the most part, believe dumb shit like that. Anyway, let's go to the next video.
We got to raise our daughters to not yearn for a man who only has money. Follow your heart. Follow a man that makes you happy to be around him, give you peace instead of going for the money. If you start loving a man for money, when that money's gone, what do you love him for? But you don't want her to settle for a bum ass man.
Right.
That's why you have to raise her to know her worth.
Amen. You got to raise her to know her worth. So, Nomalanga, since you were on that, that value, what does it really mean to know your worth for your daughter? Noma. Is this thing on? Nomalanga? Can you hear me? So I'll go over to Dr. LaNee.
Are we frozen?
You might be. You're delayed. You're delayed. So,
well, I know this. Can I say one thing about the money situation? Money and men, right? And what we expect from men. It's important that our girls and us as women know that financial provision is just, it should be a natural progression. It should be something that a man naturally wants to do for you when he really loves you.
Yeah.
So if there's an issue about, oh, you're not helping me, you're not supportive financially, and we're in this, then there's a question of whether that man really loves you. Because I feel like naturally a man is going to want to do that if he really loves you.
What do you think? Do you think this? Because I know we talked about this before, Dr. LaNee, in terms of provision, being a provider, and all of those things. What is your opinion on that?
I actually had this conversation the other day, and the gentleman that I'm currently involved with, we were literally having this conversation, and he was like, "Do you demand that a man takes care of you and provides for you?" And I do not. I think that it would be great, and I would love it, but I've never seen it, right? So, and I've said this on here before. I come from, my grandmother had 5 girls. All her girls had girls. So I don't have any brothers, no male cousins, anything like that. So I've only seen strong women. Now, if my husband comes through, my man comes through and he provides for me, I think that that is great and I'm going to appreciate it. But I operate from the perspective of team. Like we're both here, we're both doing the thing. Let's get out here, let's get it. If you got 150 and I got 150, we got 300 together. If you only got 150, then we only got 150. So I'm okay with being a teammate, a team player. If you got 150, I got 150, and you say I get to keep my 150, we still got 300, right? So that's kind of what I would teach my daughter. Like, again, be able to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Expect that somebody can take care of you. Don't demand it, but be a team player. You know, show up and know that a man's role is to provide. That is his role. And that's what he tells me all the time. He was like, it's my innate role. It's my responsibility to care for you, to take care of you, to provide for you. It's what the man does when they come into covenant with you. And if you take that away from a man, you take a lot away from him. So, but so we don't go back and forth with it, but it is a learning thing because I haven't had that. And he grew up in a 2-parent household. His parents were together until his father passed away. So his growing and what he saw and what he experienced is different from mine. And so I'm learning how to be
married. Was he married before? Was he married before?
Yes. Yeah.
LaNee, that is so interesting you said that because I actually also have the very same perspective. My parents divorced when I was very young. My mother took care of us, like primarily basically on her own, and it's 4 girls, all girls. And I've always been like really, really independent because of that. Like I got to help my family. And so I'm in this space where it's like, do I want that? I want a man to naturally come in and say, I got you. And like I said, whatever I got, that's cherry on top. We got it, right? But I'm also not waiting for anyone to save me. But also it's this weird dance because I'm not waiting for anyone to save me. But I feel like if you love me, that should be natural.
Yeah. I was this guy called me the other day. He was like, Constance, you know, he'd been like me for years. We might as well just go ahead and do it. You know, just go ahead and just make me your husband. I'll come and pay your bills. And I told him how much my bills were. He was like, oh,
wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, how you paying the bills? Can you pay? If you can pay my bills, then I might consider it. But no, and it is when when you have that, it's hard to expect somebody to come in, especially if you're already established and you're doing your thing, for somebody to come in and just, okay, I got it. Because, that air is real thin up there to be able to do it on that level, at least, you know, in my case and all the shit I got going out every month.
But isn't that a trauma response for us though? Like, I feel like, and I know for me it is, like, I don't even want to be dependent on somebody paying my own bills. I want, like,
that's scary.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I want, and maybe it's just where I am now in my growing. Like before, I kind of, no, I don't want you, give me the money, but I'm going to pay my own bills. Like, I don't want you paying my bills. But in this space that I'm in right now, I feel like, and I'm truly believing that the man who loves me wants to do that for me. Now, whether or not he has the ability, the financial ability to do that 100%, and whatever you talk about that, I think every individual relationship is different. But I want a man who wants to do that. I feel like now, if I were to be involved with someone who they just don't want to do that, nah, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You should want me to rely on you, and you should want to be that net, that safety net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't want you to pay my bills, but I want you to pay my bills. Like, what's
something like that?
It's kind of a trauma response too. Like I think Shalaye was saying, or it might have been Noma, where it's like, yeah, if you walk into something looking for somebody to pay your bills, what you're saying is, I trust you to take care of me, but I don't trust you with my heart. Right. So it's that love thing, money thing. I think a lot of times when we walk in with the finances and the money and you got to have this, we don't walk in with the, let me see your heart. Let me see what your heart care posture is. And so that I can trust you with my heart. I'm looking to see what you have in your pocket. And when we're young and we learn that, it's a hard transition into being vulnerable and letting somebody take care of you, because take care of you in totality, the full covenant, because you always lead with the finances.
Oh my God.
But like what Noma was saying is, if you lead with the, who is this man? What is his heart like? Can I trust him with my heart? And you get to a place where he's like, I do trust you with I do trust you with my heart, and vice versa. I want to provide for you. I want to take care of you. I want to elevate both parties who I am to be better people. Then you have something. But if you just walk in with the finances and how can you take care of me, you lose some element of that heart posture and vulnerability and ability to move forward and ability to build, in my humble opinion.
That's good. I like what Mo said too. When Mo said, he said, when a man loves a woman, she will automatically get taken care of. It's not even hard at all. Many men fear women fear it's getting taken advantage of. If we took the time to get to know each other, oh, I love this brother, we'll fare real well. I love you, Mo. Where you live at, Mo? Where you stay at? What was you gonna say? Nomalanga?
I was gonna say that one of the things is that I keep reiterating the trauma response is that if you have, let's say it doesn't even always have to be your dad, but ideally it should be. If you had a safety zone of good men who took care of you and you can trust that, and that's what forms your opinion or your idea about how you view the world. It's not going to be that hard. But we have to face the fact that some people have people, their mothers have men who abandoned them, and they grew up with a mother who was saying, these people are so horrible, watch out, take care of yourself, they're going to leave you and all this other stuff. And you don't even have to be told. Sometimes you see it all around you. So whether you like it or not, it's playing in the back of your mind. And when you think of somebody like somebody doing it all and you have no control, oh my goodness, that is scary. It's still scary, even if you have a foundation. But you see, like, I know it's easy for me to say this. My dad was my hero. Married to my mother for 50 years when he passed away. And I always say it, if you follow me, my daddy was brilliant. He was amazing. He was this and that. So it's easy for me also to decipher between losers and not losers, right? And it's also easy for me once somebody's established as somebody who's safe and trustworthy to be able to fall back and let them step in their role. But I also understand it's not easy for everybody because they don't have that same foundation.
Yeah. My dad was my hero too. My dad is my everything. And I'm so grateful to still have my dad here. He is the most amazing man in the world. But, actually, when I married my husband, I thought he was more like my dad. But then when we got married, he turned to his dad.
Oh.
Anyway, that's why you got to look at their parents and see.
That's right.
20 years. You better see. You better check the resume. But let's look at speaking of resume, let's look at the stats. So 77% of millennials believe that material gifts play an important role in romantic relationships. Really? 77% of millennials believe that material gifts play an important. I mean, okay, take that off. So I know we have our love languages, and like sometimes, what was that one? Acts of service, receiving gifts. All of those are, love languages, I guess. But is that really a priority for people? Do people really think that that's love?
I think it's influence. I think it's the social influence.
But it says gifts. It doesn't say expensive gifts.
Yeah.
A gift can be a card. It could be a thought.
Yep.
It's a thought that can.
This back in the day, you used to pick a flower for a girl and give it to her, and that's a gift. And it cost you nothing.
I would love that. If somebody went and picked a flower and came to my door, I would be like, "Oh, this is so cute." I'd be like, "That's thoughtful."
Because the thought that counts.
It's the thought. Someone would be offended.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's go to the next slide. So 2019 survey found that 56% of women believe that a partner's financial status is on the top considerations in a relationship. Okay, let's talk about that because, I mean, real talk, it's important. I mean, you don't want to be living on a park bench. So is their financial status important? Aisha, is that something that you would say for your daughter, a man's financial status is important for her?
Yes, it is. And even the way I was raised, my dad provided for my mom. We saw it all growing up, all our lives. So I expected that whoever I was going to marry would do the same for me. I didn't expect to be the one going out there and providing for my husband. No, you know what I mean? But I know now that I'm older, of course, there's a balance, which, it's normal as you marry someone, things change. But I believe 100% that their financial standing doesn't have to be a wealthy person, but should be able to provide for you, and so that you can have a place to stay and just take care of your basic needs. Even if we have to maybe support you and stay in a place before you continue on your own, but that person has to be able to have that foresight that my goal is to take care of you and provide for the family. It shouldn't be where you're not sure where your next meal will come from or where you're going to stay. No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be something that is set. So you marry a man that is ready to be a husband, not
boom.
Yeah.
Wait. That was a bar. Say that one more time. Marry a man
that is ready to be a husband.
That is ready to be a husband. Marry a man that is ready to be a husband. Then you don't have to worry about all that other shit. So for you, Dr. LaNee, for your son preparing to be somebody's husband, does his financial status matter?
Oh, absolutely. You should be able to provide for yourself and others, right? Now, I think quality of life is important, right? So somebody who's making or equally yoked, right? So 50,000 to 50,000, 150,000, 150,000. I think if you're doing, let's say 75,000, then like I need somebody to make 300,000. May or may not be a stretch. I think we have to be realistic in some of these things. I think we can want more, but I do think it comes. I think what happens is when we start being outlandish with certain things, right? I like with I think it was Noma, or I think it was Noma who's like said, you've never even seen this thing, you've never experienced this thing, you've never had this thing. Not to say that you can't, but I think where the problem comes in is where we require or demand, right? I think you can have the high expectation and whatnot, but if you have a nice young man or nice young lady who's doing well in life and they can provide for you and they're doing good and you come together and you build. I think the issue is in demanding. So I would tell my son, do good work, strive to be the best that you can, strive to excel, don't settle, don't become content. Make sure that you can take care of a wife and children, but also make sure that you pick a partner that wants to build with you. Yeah. And by build, I don't mean she got to get out here and get a job, but she needs to be able to take care of the home. She needs to be able to multiply. She needs to be able to take what you have and help you to go to higher levels. Maybe you have a concept and an idea. She can speak life over it and work at the business from home while you go to work, but just somebody that's a partner who's not just going to sit and let you do all the work and just sit and let you do nothing. And by do all the work, I mean, women, what a woman brings to a relationship is multifaceted. Whether it's speaking life over you, taking care of the home, helping you to run the business, knowledge. There's a variety of different things that we do when we show up as women. just make sure she's not somebody that's just taking from you and subtracting from you.
That part. What about you, Shalaye? What do you think? Do you think that money is important?
I definitely think that money is important because we all need to survive. And I think that the instinct comes from a biological place of we need to survive. And as women, we are vulnerable to certain things because we are the ones who have the babies and have to take care of the babies. So that is a large part instinctually that I think that goes into this. It's like LaNee was saying, when we take it to the full out extent, okay, we on 20 with it, and you want things that you're not able, I think it's okay to want things that you're not able to provide for yourself. You want new experiences, that's okay. But to demand them and make that be the bar for whether or not someone loves you or whether or not you should be in a relationship with them, I think that is totally just ignorant and stupid.
Yeah. Good. What about you, Nomalanga? Did you hear the question? Does money matter when it comes to Yeah,
it absolutely matters. There's a baseline. There's even a baseline in terms of our happiness. Apparently you have to have certain things before it stops mattering how much you have. So until you fall below a certain point in terms of, do you have a roof over your head, do you have food to eat, and just basic necessities. So there is a baseline. The other end of it is that you have to, as a young man, marry a woman who understands that she has to live within your means. Whatever it is that you can provide, she has to learn to live within those means. But she also has the skill and the talent to build you up so that you're always evolving together to the next level and the next level.
Yeah.
As opposed to some skank who comes in, has never seen shrimp and lobster and is demanding it from somebody. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But there has to be that willingness to understand that, okay, we're starting here, but we want to evolve and grow together. How she contributes to that obviously is a vast, like LaNee said, there's so many things that a woman brings to the table. And sometimes it can be financially, but absolutely, money, no, you can't just pretend like money's not important, because it is.
money.
I have a question for Constance based on what Norma just said. Well, first, let me preface it with this. I think that this is why it's important that you find a mate when you're young and somebody that you can build with. Let me preface what I'm about to ask Constance with that. Constance, if you meet a man today, can you live within his means?
No.
Would anybody? I couldn't either. Like, even if I met like the dopest dude today, and I make what I make, and he makes like 250,000, we couldn't live off of his 250,000.
No, that's why I still make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to hamper my lifestyle to be with a man? I'm not going to do that. But he's not disqualified from being my man because he makes a certain amount of money. But I'm not going to like downgrade my lifestyle. Who does that?
So I think
the expectation is that what y'all tell me, because I don't know. Is that what they expected? I'm curious.
I don't know. I was getting over, and then I was like, wait a minute. She said, well, hold on.
So it does get complicated as we get older.
Yep, that's right.
It gets complicated.
But I think it's when you're younger.
Complicated. Yeah.
Say it again, Norma.
I said it gets complicated as we get older. Yeah, because then, we're set in our ways. We've already established our lifestyle and all these other things. But to answer Constance's question, I believe that you should not have your money, how much money you make, obviously sometimes is self-evident. If he walks into a huge house and you're driving a fancy car, that kind of already tells him, no matter how hard you try not to tell him, right? So there is that element of kind of being equally yoked. But like, if you're high income and he's high income, but your income is higher, then it shouldn't really make that much of a difference. Like I said, if you're used to a certain kind of lifestyle, he should come in at a similar level, so that you're not sacrificing too much to be with him, because that'll also just make you unhappy.
Right, because it's the expectation that he's supposed to come in and take care of me at 50 years old. Because I don't think that's a realistic expectation. Now we can kind of merge our lifestyles together, and we could still like do the things, but he has to have at least an amount of money to where he's able to be flexible in certain things. But I don't think I expect a man to come in and pay my bills. I mean, if you say you want to come pay my bills, okay, well, here's what they are. Can you do it? If not, okay, then there's, we got nothing to talk about. But I just listen, all of this is very new to me, and I haven't been in a real deal relationship since I've been married. So I haven't had the opportunity to have, to merge lives with anybody else post divorce. So I don't even know what that looks like. So I don't know. So I'm really sincere when I ask y'all, is this what I'm supposed to be looking for?
No,
Like, is these
I think that's why it's important to talk about it from the age perspective, because what Norman said was right. It was right. 20 to like 35. But like over 40, it's a little bit different because you're established. You might have real estate. You might have, it just gets, and I think that's what makes social media so wrong is people push agendas, but they don't say if you're between this age and this age.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So you're talking to a 50-year at the grown age of 48. I'll be 49 in September.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a man. I'm not looking to match his lifestyle at this age, but in my 30s, maybe early in my 20s and 30s, yes. At this point, we should be building together. We should be comparable so that we can bring our monies together, our lifestyles together, and continue to grow and to build.
Yeah. And that's the truth. That is the unadulterated truth. With my boys, it's funny because when I ask my boys, like, what's the dynamic going to be with them and their spouses, they all say she can work if she wants to, but I'll be the one taking care of the house financially, which I thought was interesting because they didn't see that growing up. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad because I never wanted that for them. I don't want them to be dependent upon a woman. But I just thought that was interesting that they're all like, no, I'll be the one. She can work. That'll be extra, but no, it's going to be me, which big relief, that they're not going to go out there, just freeloading on nobody. Not saying that their dad did, but I just don't want them to do that. But let's do this. Let's go to our final thoughts. And let me ask you all this. If you can give one piece of advice to a young woman, might be your daughter, but just to pour into like a young woman who is just at that age where they are trying to make a decision, a life decision with a partner, what is one thing that you would want to say to them? And I'll start with you, Aisha.
The one thing I'll say to them is, be the person as well that you expect other people to be to you. If you want somebody that's going to provide food, give you something, be ready to also give them something, right? So that'll be my advice, really. Be the person as well that you want somebody else to be to you, right? And my final thought is, love is hard when you meet somebody and you're trying to give them something or you want to get something from them. But I think if it's genuine, if I'm giving somebody a genuine gift because I love them and I care about them, it shouldn't matter whether it's a luxurious gift or it's an inexpensive gift, because it's a thought that counts. So I hope that is what we take away from here today, that it's not about the size of it, but it's a thought that counts. And if you're looking to understand money, how money works, protect what you have, and transfer your wealth properly, I'm on the Black Business School and also at AishaVerzi.com. You can find me there.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was reading these comments. Anonymous said this. That's why women ain't supposed to be making money. What kind of shit is that, Anonymous? This man is out of his mind.
Barefoot, pregnant, and in cages.
I guess. And then Paul Bennett said, men have traditionally downgraded and hampered our lifestyle to be with broke ass women. So why the switch now in equal base seeking society? Women prove themselves to be hypocrites. Okay, you competing against women, huh? I see what kind of weak ass man you are if you comparing yourself to a woman, homie. All right. I love what Double A said, though. She said, why society, where is that? Where she said, why are we pushing marriage so hard when we have such a high divorce rate? That's what Double A said. Why does society still push marriage so hard given the high divorce rates? That's a question. But to be honest with you, wealth is built in our community when we have family, when we have marriage, all of that stuff. That is actually a good thing, even if there are high divorce rates. So anyway, I'm sorry. I was just looking at them comments and I had to address, crazy ass Anonymous with his crazy ass bullshit. All right, Shalaye. What is your final thought? What is one thing a piece of advice that you would give to a young woman watching this who wants to make a life decision?
You guys, I have so many thoughts, but okay. So let me say, this is a varied subject, okay? And I think that we need to be teaching our daughters and just teaching ourselves, reteaching ourselves, reprogramming ourselves, that money isn't everything, but it is something, and we need it to survive. And it is a tool, and we can't be with men who are lazy, period, okay? So, love isn't measured by luxury gifts and material things. And what are we teaching our daughters? We should be teaching our daughters that love is respect, love is trust, love is devotion, love is commitment, love is those things. And love is also reciprocal. So if a man is giving to you, you also need to be giving to him. But those are different things sometimes that we give to each other. I think that we disempower our girls when we teach them to expect gifts as proof of affection, because that is not proof at all. A man can give you so many gifts and can't stand your guts and hate you, and he's just siphoning from you. So we need to be careful of not teaching our girls and empowering them, not teaching them that it's all about material things. Someone who loves you deeply, like I said before, wants to come in and wants to provide for you and wants to be that source of provision in all ways, in financial ways, emotional, spiritual, and everything like that. What I would say, we need to be thinking really, really, really thinking really hard about what is your purpose together.
Mm.
Like, if we're building together, what is it that I'm going to receive in my life that I could not receive without you? And what is it that you're going to receive in your life that you could not receive without me? So I really think that we just need to be looking at, is this someone I can build with? Do we have similar values? All the money stuff should come at a time when it's appropriate, but we need to raise our girls to know their worth and not be dependent on this type of mentality around financial gifts. If you want to take your financial gifts and invest it into real estate, I say you do that, and you do that as soon as possible. I can help you do that, okay? I can help you buy or sell real estate in any state in the United States and Canada. Reach out to me, Shalaye Camillo, on Instagram. You can reach me on my website, Vital Source Realty, and let's help you get that first, second, or third house.
Let's go. Invest. Get your investment portfolio together in Boston. Good
Boston
shit.
and everywhere.
Oh, and everywhere.
Boston
and everywhere. See how I said the Boston, like I'm from the East Coast and like I'm from Boston. Dr. LaNee, what is one thing?
I'm about to be super quick. I'll be so quick. I was gonna say she ain't even gonna have time to put me on the screen. And that's it. This is it. Let your voice be the loudest voice. That's it. That's all. As a young person, even as a grown-up, we turn to everybody else and listening to what everybody else got to say. We're looking at the social media, we're looking at the TV, we're listening to our friends that ain't had no relationship, listening to our broke homegirl that ain't had a man since, and let your voice be the loudest voice. You know right from wrong. You know what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. You know how you feel. Roll with that. Trust yourself. If your parent is telling you something that you don't agree with, or you see how your parent is living and they ain't even getting $500 dinners, whatever, then don't trust it. Trust you. Trust you. If I had trusted myself more growing up and not listened to the people around me, life would have been differently. So just let your voice be the loudest voice. Stop bringing other people into your relationship, asking for other people's advice. I'm Dr. LaNee Javette, brand your brilliant strategist. Vision execution strategist. That's my new little moniker right there. Basically, what I do is I help Black service-based entrepreneurs to execute on their vision with a brilliant strategy.
Yes. I love it, Dr. LaNee. Here's what I got to say about this whole topic, that there is nothing wrong with luxury. I want everybody to have luxury. There's nothing wrong with having high standards, because we all should have high standards. But let's really be honest and let's be clear, because real empowerment is not just something that somebody can buy you. It's about what you can build for yourself. So if we teach our daughters to expect gifts, let's also teach them to be the gift. Let's teach them to walk in purpose. Let's teach them to carry themselves and love themselves and honor themselves, so that when they meet somebody, they'll do the same thing. And it has nothing to do with what's in their pocketbook. The real flex is not a Chanel bag. It's your self-worth, ladies. That's what we need to be teaching our daughters. Don't teach them about that other bullshit. Okay. So who am I? I'm Constance Carter. You can find me everywhere. I am Constance Carter. I am doing a training for people who have an idea, a business idea. It's called Think, Build, Monetize. It's a free training on Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. you guys come check me out. If you have an idea that you want to bring to life, I'm going to help you in this hour-long training. It's absolutely free. So I'm going to take you from the thought to actually manifesting to monetizing your business idea. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. Go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. So ladies, y'all, that was an insightful conversation today, from examining how these luxury gift expectations influence relationships to discussing how we can create healthier dating standards. We've touched on a lot. So remember, ladies, empowerment comes from knowing your worth, and it doesn't have to be tied to the bag of a gift or a dinner bill. Thanks for joining us. This is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.